Windows audio recorder. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I can record it.
Who's I? I can't hear you, bud.
Yeah, you're
Achilles
ready.
at the top.
Achilles, I'll record it.
Okay. Yeah, be recorded and then send me or Delris or whoever's my member leadership a link to it so we can get it out to everybody.
Thank you very much. I don't have my thing is not working properly today, so I'm not able to do that.
All right, so 5 minutes we're gonna be going. So go use the restroom if you need to. Has anybody heard from overdose? Okay, I'm gonna call him real quick. See if we can get him.
Volta. If you're here. Nope, he's not. Okay, whatever.
I think he said he had to go to the bathroom.
Oh, you're here, overdose? Overdose?
He's not here.
No,
No, no.
he's not in the. He's talking to you in that channel. He's not saying he's in this channel.
Yeah, he texted me saying, shit, what the fuck, why did I fall, why did I sleep that long? He did sleep through the entire leadership meeting and just woke up, so...
Well, hey, I slept through like half of it, so...
Yeah, he's more in a time zone than those of us
No,
in
he's
NA.
EU.
Yeah, I know, but he's shifted to NA.
Late NA.
Overdose
Late
is
NA.
definitely not EU time zone right now. His sleep schedule.
No.
It's like what time there and you just woke up?
8 p.m. That's the latest goal I ever had.
A man after my own heart.
You woke up, right, okay, just to be clear, Overdose. I woke up before 8 a.m. I woke up at about 5, 6 a.m. You're literally nocturnal at this point, mate. I'm sorry.
Yes. I know. Probably the
It's
easiest
not good
way
for
would be the easiest way to fix this would probably just to stay awake for like 36 hours and then
Or
go
just
to
go
bed.
to America or something, I don't know.
Or I could just like move.
Hey
Just
guys,
like,
can you
alright.
guys start it? Let's check. Listen, can you guys, Butney and Zero and them want to chat before the fire set so we know exactly what's going on? Can you guys get started going through the SIGs before we get into all the big announcements about Mists of Ablion, War, etc., etc.?
Alphabetically, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Let's do some
Overdose,
the bottom.
just go through the list in State of Brave. We don't need to keep finding out who the fuck is here. Just call out
Okay.
the SIGs and order on State of Brave and they'll tell people. Yeah.
Great. Now where is the list?
State of
State of
Brave,
Brave.
I updated it before the
Don't
Alliance meeting.
ask. Do not ask where State of Brave is.
No, no,
Sorry,
no.
can you start like while he's still waking up? I feel like he's.
Alright. By the way, for those of you who are saying the Discord server is too big, first of all, yes it is, deal with it. Second, you can use Control K to search shit. Like I'm going to do right now to look up State of Brave. Is anyone from recruitment here? Quest, Bratzi.
Yeah, I'm here.
Bratzi is away.
Yep, Spratzy is away. So, Quest, if you're here, can you talk about recruitment?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep, you're
Okay.
heard.
I was keying a couple times. So, recruitment, we need as many people as we can to keep getting our new bros in. It is vital that we grow our alliance, especially with the new moves we're going to be making. If you are interested and can help in any way to get our new people onboarded, invited, however you would like to help, please message me and I will get the ball rolling. We need as many people as possible.
Mm-hmm. Is that it?
Yeah.
All right. HR is fine. Both Squadsy and Cordum, I don't think are here.
No, I'm
Because-
here. I'm here.
Okay.
Oh, I need to talk to you about something after then. But yeah.
Cool.
Yep. Cordum, do you want to talk about HR for a bit? Because
Sure.
Squadsy's out.
HR, we help fix problems between people. If someone's been at a hellgate first, or like if there's a situation where someone's being a dick, we're gonna fix it and make sure that stop people from making the bad decisions. Yeah, if you have any complaints about people, if you're wondering about how we do things in regards to like treating other people or being in a Zerg, come talk to me, and I'll get you sorted.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this also applies to if you find someone doing fake suspicious things. If someone is acting like really not less just like slightly suspicious, but like there was someone the other week. I think it was X Troll was his name. I don't know how many of you were sort of like, but we got just this barrage of things about this guy within the space of about 24 hours, and that's good because we need like when it's like that obvious. We just need to know immediately so we can take care of it. Either HR or me or Sasari or Voltel. Like, yeah, probably just HR, me or Sasari, unless it's like leadership level spies. That's a whole other story.
Yep.
But
And if you are having an issue with a member of leadership that is so severe that HR is not online to get involved, go to Voltel directly.
yes,
Please. Like, we had to remove someone from leadership for yep. For an HR thing.
He said not to say anything.
Then you
Fine,
almost
whatever.
said something.
Fuck.
Volto said that's not to leave that channel.
Fine. I forgot. My bad. Let's just keep going. Mentors?
Yep, I can talk to that. Hi, I am Zerd. I am one of the right hands of the mentoring SIG.
Hey,
So,
Zerd. Hey, Zerd,
Yeah.
can I interrupt you just for a minute?
yeah, of course.
Just for that, just to state something from leadership about the leadership that was removed. In Newbie, we do not take kindly to homophobia, sexism, racism, any isms, unless it's in jest, like an ageism, like we're always teasing Voltel that he's a boomer, and I'm always saying I'm an old man. That's self-deprecating. That's one thing. But any kind of prejudicial or racist or any kind of thing like that will get you kicked out of the alliance faster than you can say anything. Okay, I'm through with my public service announcement. Go ahead.
Sure. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Yeah, again, like you said, don't be a dick. We'll catch you. Okay, so back to mentoring. So the mentoring SIG does a lot of things. We always need more people interested in mentoring. If you are interested, please DM Zerd. I can get you set up with that. But basically what mentors do is help people. So all the new people who come into the Alliance, we're involved in answering questions. We're involved in gear handouts. So we'll help you with free 4.1 gear as much as you need. As long as you're using it, please don't go resell it. That is stealing from us. But if you are using the gear, we will give you all you need. So you can always ping an @mentor in the gear request channel. We will give you fame farming gear. We will help hand out in ZVZs. If you're a mentor, you can help hand out gear. So the more mentors online handing out gear, the faster form up goes, the more people we can get out and have a good form up for ZVZ. So the mentoring SIG is involved in a lot of things. If you're interested, please contact me and I will help you get set up with a mentorship. Thanks.
I have a question on that.
Sure.
So basically, one of the problems that I've been running into, like say for example, yesterday, obviously yesterday was my first day playing, and we were doing the ZVZ, and obviously the only weapons I got were the ones that I decided to play with from the start. However, the problem that I was having was they kept trying to tell me that I couldn't do it because it was in ZVZ. That's not a ZVZ build or something like that. But
Could you tell me what weapon that was? Just out of
it was
curiosity.
a one-handed spear. I don't remember who it was that said I can't use it, but they told me
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. So one of the suggestions I was going to have was, is there a way? Because I know you guys hand out 4.1 gear, but a lot of the people, for example, myself, I only had 40k fame when we started doing the CDZ. Do you
Just
guys
to be
have
clear,
any
you're the
T3
exception
weapon?
to the rule. That's just to be clear. You're the exception to the rule. We don't
Spear is
expect
pretty
new
much
bros. We don't expect new bros to come in day one and go and knock it up when they have 40,000, fame. However, if you were able to go along and have some fun, I hope you were. But to be clear, we don't expect you, or we shouldn't be expecting you to be in a ZVZ build day one.
Well, they kind of were. Like I said, I don't remember who it was that said it, but that's not the issue. The issue I was kind of trying to get to was, is there a way that you guys can maybe give out T3 weapons for the people that don't actually have the T4 weapons? Because I asked yesterday, and they said that y'all don't have any T3. And you said you're not using T3 in ZVZ. I'm like, well, I guess I'm stuck doing nothing then.
Then somebody was uninformed. There are tier 3 weapon stashes on the island.
And what should
On
have
the island,
happened?
yes. In the hideout, maybe.
What should have happened was we should have gotten you a T3 weapon of a ZVZ build and given you some tomes of insight to tier it up with a couple learning points from you if you're a premium player, and then get you going in 4.1 gear. That's what should have happened ideally.
Yeah, that would have
And
been
we
fine,
are
but
plenty
they didn't.
capable of doing that. Well, that's just because we have new mentors and people all the time, and unfortunately, not everybody knows everything.
I'll bring out
apologize
some
that you had that
true.
experience, but I mean, it happens. I'm sorry that you fell through the cracks on that, but we'll get it sorted, I'm sure.
Okay, no big deal.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Worst comes to the worst, you show up with the spear, and that's our fault, so
Yeah,
no one's gonna be
well,
mad.
I ended up, I forgot I leveled up Pyromancer, and I ended up going.
Unironically, one-hand spear used to be viable for, just putting that out there. That actually did used to do really quite a lot of AoE burst. Sorry, no, enough of me talking about that. Sorry, go on. Let's continue.
Okay, that was pretty much it for mentors.
All right. The next SIG would be, do we really want to recruit for IT?
Yes, we're recruiting for all of them, aren't we?
Oh,
How much
okay.
do you pay
Then,
per hour?
You don't know if a new bro's a programmer or not. Let's give it a shot.
all right.
What's the pay?
Go ahead.
Said how much is the pay?
There is
$1 million.
It's voluntary.
Just like everything here, yes. Well, is somebody around from IT? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, basically, as Androx said, we have absolutely no clue what anyone does in real life, and we're looking for programmers. If you have done some backend development, or if you know JavaScript, Java container management, any kind of IT stuff, basically. If you're a Discord wizard, that's always good. So if you're interested, just ping me in the Join Sigs channel.
All right.
Maybe we should be calling out who's me, by the way.
Yeah, me in this case is Fenririne. I have the IT parentheses thing next to my name. I think it's listed in the Join Sigs pinned post as well.
Yes, it is. All right. Next thing is marketing. I'm kind of doing that. That's pretty much propaganda, but a very specific way. It's mostly not aggressive or offensive propaganda. It's most of the time defensive propaganda, presental propaganda. Just like that presents what we do to the outside world, and just like wants to transport a positive image of the whole alliance to the outside world. There are other types of propaganda, but those are usually those require more background knowledge, but marketing in general does not You only need to know about our alliance, and that's enough. So if you're interested in doing some, like in Eve, we used to do some old like World War II style posters, for recruitment and stuff like that. And I want to pick that up too. So if you want to do something like that, just hit me up. Me in that case being Overdose.
Overdose, just call it public relations.
It's not.
Hey guys, I'm back.
Welcome
We're
back.
good. Yeah, we're good. It's gonna be. We got another target on the target list.
Oh, okay. The next would be Highwayman. Is somebody from the Ganking Sig around?
I am.
All right, go ahead.
Hey guys, I'm Blood Jade. I'm the probably the leader right now of the Ganking Zig. But what ganking is you go out. It doesn't matter what gear, but at least 4.1, and you kill people. You take their shit. You make money. That's literally it. Now we got 2 new SIG directors for the ganking. It's LeBlanc and DM Poppy Hentai. So if you have any ganking questions, please message me or them, or just in the ganking zig in general. One thing about the contest, it has ended now. In case you didn't see, I'm gonna count up the kills, and we're gonna get a new contest rolling pretty soon. And if you know how to guys gank or lead a ganking group, also just message me. I'll get you into ganking zig as well. I don't care how much experience you have. You can always join a ganking group. I'll take you in. That's about it.
All right. The next is Brave Champions, which is our 5v5 SIG. And I think it also encompasses Hellgates, like 2v2 Hellgates, right?
Yeah.
The issue is right now we don't have somebody to lead that. So if you're interested in, or if you're relatively experienced with Hellgates, and 5v5 content, crystals, something like that, we're looking for somebody like you. That's that. All right. Eskimo, Lions Legion. It's yours.
Yeah.
He's around.
Here I go to drag it all out. Hello, my name is Eskimo. I'm the SIG director for the Lions Legion. If anyone doesn't know what the Lions Legion is, we are faction warfare. That means we can go in terms of flagging up at Martlock, and we can go around doing some Zerg versus Zerg, sitting on cities, calling it out on the faction warfare Discord, like, hey, we want to have a fight, let's go and do this. Also going around in small groups to take outposts. Some faction flag ganking, not really on its own, more like whenever we're going from zone to zone for the outpost takeover stuff. And the city heart travels, in which you go and take city hearts that you had collected from one city, transport it to another, and come back with more. I would like to let it be known that the Lions Legion currently has a roadmap established for itself within the SIG, to where we are all hoping to get the July mount, the Spectral Direbore, for everyone within the SIG, or as many people as we can. That way everyone can go out and get big money from doing the heart runs. I really want more people to be on the heart runs, because it is a incredible way to make money really fast. But other than that, if anyone has any faction content related questions, you can contact myself, Eskimo, or Gygus and or Snuticus, who are my right hands for the SIG. And if anyone is interested in joining, you go to the Join SIGs, and this will go for most SIGs actually. You go to Join SIGs, and then you find the SIG that is under that category, and then just click on the emote underneath it, and it will give you the role automatically. And I believe that should be it from me.
All right. Thank you. The next SIG is the Shot Callers. Is Kislia around?
Okay.
Okay,
I
let's do that.
I can kind of speak for him for a bit because I know it's going to happen. Shot callers are basically people who lead groups. What is it? Fucking. I know there's a shot caller meeting after the Alliance meeting, but I didn't know what Kistler wanted to say.
So for that, be around.
Yeah.
If you're
So there's
already
gonna
a
be, hey, if you're not a shot caller, please get involved, even if you even remotely. It sounds interesting. We provide the gear, we provide the training. You know, there's no, if you go out and die horribly, that's okay. You eventually will get better and not die horribly, and that's literally the purpose of why we hand out gear. So don't worry about it. We'll also be having more regular training classes, etc., etc., etc. Because we need lots of people taking up lots of content. What we want as an alliance is, if you log in to the game, your line member or whatever, to be able to access a group doing something that interests you within a fairly short period of time. So whether that's Fame Farm, whether that's ZVZ, whether that's ganking, whatever that is, you know, being able to log in and say, okay, there's a group going out in 2 hours. I want to do that, right? Like being able to just log in and just get into whatever type of gameplay you want to be able to get into is the objective. Now, to do that, we need a lot more shot callers doing a lot more things. So if you have a remote interest in doing it, you know, put in the apply to SIGs channel. I believe it's the correct channel, right?
It should be in the reaction post.
Yeah. Just put it down that you want to get involved. It sounds somewhat interesting, whether you've FC Neve or raid call or been a raid leader in WoW, whatever. Like if that even sounds remotely interesting, you're putting groups together. Newbie needs you. Absolutely, we will give you the tools and the training to be able to be, you know, out there doing things. So please, by all means, I don't care if you're a 2-week-old new bro, you know, start getting plugged in. There we go. Those shot callers.
All right, thank you. Then we have Bomb Squad. That is Kali's department.
So, Bomb Squad is addition to the Zerg. It's a smaller group on the side, or multiple smaller groups on the side. Right now, I need a right-hand man to run another Bomb Squad. That's what I'm currently looking for. For a right-hand man, I'm kind of looking for a bit more experienced players, some experienced shot caller possibly, but more to do with experience of ZVZ more than anything, and just general knowledge. If you come from like a background of like WoW or all these other games which you have a good idea of how
What about
Zergs and
Minecraft?
stuff move. Not Minecraft in that though.
Oh no! There's some hardcore players in Minecraft. I've been educated from my
You're
kids.
such an elitist, Carly.
Yeah.
Any background, as long as you got a
Don't
good
tease
idea.
about elitism, boys. That ain't funny.
Yeah, keep that shit
Just
down.
to be clear, we are not elitist in this alliance, and we do not tolerate elitism.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Carly.
If you think you got the skills to be a right hand man, DM me and we can discuss about it. That's
All right.
for me, boys.
Okay. We're skipping the next one because that's a longer announcement. Then we have Brave Vanguard. That is Manuel's and Gakos.
Yeah. So Brave Vanguard. What that is so that's after you've learned the game a little bit and you're getting more comfortable with PvP and ZVZ. Brave Vanguard is there and available to be able to sort of provide a little bit higher end content that is available to our players who maybe have a little bit more experience. We are direly in need of more active players in Brave Vanguard right now. We've the requirements to get in aren't that strict. They're pretty low. I think we're asking for 30 mastery and 0 spec right now, and then we're asking that you do some you ensure you get the right progression to where you can get the desired spec of at least 100 spec and 100 mastery in your main line. It's a great opportunity for learning. Like I said, there's various aspects. We do a lot of that 5v5 stuff, the Hellgates, CGVGs, ZVZs, hiring, ganking. We want to get into world bosses, stuff like that. It's really fun content. you don't need to know about ZVZ. You just need to be curious, right? And we'll show you the way. So please, if you guys get a chance and it's interesting to you, go ahead and apply. Reach out to me if you have questions. I'm happy to walk you through whatever. And yeah, it's going to be a really good time. We just got to build up those base numbers. And like going back to the bomb squad, if you want to be interested in that like that's like the upper high end gear, right? You're running tier 7, tier 8 plus gear. That all stems through Brave Vanguard as well, right? So they're all part of that central core organization. So yeah, so please apply. Let's get you into these Zergs and let's have some fun.
Okay, thank you.
And there'll be a post going out about what benefits there are, what the requirements are, expectations, etc. So that should be going out very soon.
Okay. Next, we are to the Silver Squad segment of that. First one would be market manipulation. Fanny?
Yep. That's me again. I have both IT and market manip. They can kind of go hand in hand, to be honest, because it's a lot of spreadsheeting, but it's also a lot of silver making. So if you're interested in learning-ish how to make silver or come with ideas on how the Alliance can make more silver, feel free to apply to the market manipulation SIG in the Join SIG channel.
All right, thank you. Then we have buyback. Is Trib around at the moment? Or is he busy?
He's in channels DMing and stuff.
Okay. Oh well.
So Sarah, you want to go over buyback? Because I think you understand it better than most people.
Yeah. I'm pseudo running. I can basically answer any questions that someone has for buyback because I did most of it in May and June. So buyback is actually doing pretty great. However, they are looking for more people because even though logistics does the buyback transport in the black zone, buyback is the group of people that logs everything, gets your money, gets your stuff and sells it to other cities. Trib is looking for more people with the expansions that we are doing going forward. And if that is something you were interested in, DM him. He'll probably chat with you, interview you, all that stuff. If you were interested in helping with buyback. And late this week, it's either tonight, tomorrow, or later this week, we will be putting out a clarifying post about the percentages that you get from buyback because people were getting confused about what it is. And just to sort of briefly clarify, the buyback price is 70 when you wait for it to be sold on market, it is 70% sell order, not buy order.
Max sell order also.
Max sell order.
Yeah, 'cause we're moving shit around. So what it actually equates to, like a basic simplistic level for anybody who's not wanting to spreadsheet out a bazillion numbers and shit, is essentially it works out to about, for instant buy, about 80%, 85% of the average sell across the entire Royals, because we move shit around the Royals to sell it for max dollar if it makes sense. And for if you're willing to wait, it's equivalent of 70% is the max sell, but that equates to about 90 to 95% of the max buy, right? So if you're just going to Martlock or wherever and just liquidating shit and just selling it to buy orders, if you're willing to wait, you're going to get that or more without having to deal with the headache. Plus, it's insured by the Alliance, right? So if the shit gets lost in transit, you're not responsible, and you get the instant payout of, say, about 85% buy. If that makes sense. It's 60% max sell instant, and it's 70% max sell if you're willing to wait. But it is insured. Does that make sense for everybody?
Yeah.
All right. So sorry. Continue. I just wanted to clarify that because I get a bazillion messages about it.
Oh, that I don't really have anything else to say about buyback unless you want me to have a 2-hour talk about how it works.
Not especially.
I can make a brief. Let's not do that.
Let's not.
We're looking. We're looking for somebody to head the crafting department of the
And
squad.
gathering.
And gathering, crafting
Wait,
and gathering.
crafting?
So if you're excessively gathering, or like to organize events for that, contact us. And we're looking for somebody for crafting. If you enjoy spreadsheet warrioring, that would be your thing. As also if you like to get stuff done, and are you don't even have to have a lot of crafting spec specifically. It's more about organizing it. Yeah. Then refining, Muggle.
Yeah, actually, a question before. Do you guys do the leadership meeting? I just got back home.
Yeah, long time ago. Dude.
Okay. All right. Okay, my bad.
Don't worry, we're gonna go over 95% of what we had in the leadership meeting. In the
Yeah, because I
Alliance
just got a
fireside.
tidy surprise a couple seconds ago. Anyways, yeah, refining. I did not attend the last Alliance meeting, and I've seen the difference in focus donations, so I will plug it again. Donate your focus to the Alliance. You get spec. Spec is hard to come by if you don't have the capital to buy the resources yourself and put them on the market and wait for them to sell. And most of the time, it's a very unpredictable market where resources go up in price or down in price. So you're risking a lot by putting all your silver in one place. I take that worry, you can say, away. All you have to do is contact me. There is a channel called Focus Donations, and there is refining chat. You can chat in refining chat about what you could possibly donate about, and I will help you with that. The current refining market is insanely profitable. As it stands right now, on one character you can make between 1 to 4 mil easily a day. Yes, a day with
That's with
10,000
spec
focus.
though that you get from.
Of course, yeah. That you get that with spec that you're getting, basically offering you free spec. Let me
Spec
help
for
you
focus.
help me help the alliance.
Now
And
let
you
me
also
ask
get
you
spec.
this, Muggle,
Sure
because I
thing.
know you're getting to. Let's get to the meat of it. Say I'm a new bro. I've got 30,000 focus. Just bought premium. I
Okay.
can't afford to pay for the bars. How hard is it going to be? How hard are you going to make it on me to give you my focus?
It's absolutely easy. You just message me. I will set up a chest on the company islands. All you have to do is go over there with the tier 3 ox, or even naked. I have tier 3 oxes in there.
We'll walk you through
for
it
people
too.
to pick them up. Yeah, we'll walk you through everything. I'll set up a chest, and you will just pick up the stuff, go to any station of your choice, and then come back. If you cannot afford the refining costs, or you don't want to pay them, I'll gladly refund those. Just tell me about it, and it's covered. Basically, you will spend nothing but a little bit of time. At most, it'll take you 10 minutes to refine with 30k focus. Yeah, like I just got a message right now with people would have alts that don't use their focus. People buy their focus and just to PvP or just to do some Hellgates or wherever they want to do with their account. They want all the other benefits, but they don't really care about the focus. I'll
Well,
help
to
you
be
set up
clear,
your
most people
economy.
don't use their focus. Like 90% of people in the game don't use their
Yep.
focus. So
Absolutely, and it's a huge waste. Right now,
In Albion, the only way to make money is with focus.
yeah, especially with a growing
well, other than ganking and other than gathering and selling raw
and
resources.
market manipulation and
Yes,
stall
yes.
ownership and
Sorry.
we know that's how you make a lot of your money, my friend. But we don't discriminate against people wanting to
Not
make
trying
money
to
gathering.
discriminate. I'm sorry.
Donate your focus regardless. I want to see DMs. I'm getting right now a couple DMs. I'm proud, but I want more because you you guys don't have a stable economy, and it hurts to watch you guys go out in 4-1 for months. Come, let me help you go out in in 8-3 and not give a fuck.
We want everybody. The alliance. We're expanding the gear that we're giving out. We're expanding. We're obviously doing GP for Brave Vanguard Sig. We're doing lots of new things, dropping hideouts, launching, building up shit. At the end of the day, we want both the alliance to be doing well so we can provide more things to you guys, but also you guys to have the means to make money. So join Silver Squad and let's do this. We also are. We'll get to it here shortly. We are going into a war mode. We have a coalition of rental handholders that have decided to come after us and Arch. We're going to be fighting, so we're going to need everybody. Everybody helping out as much as they can while we're dealing with this war. There you go. Continue, Muggle.
Just to be clear, if you're a new
Go
bro
ahead.
and you get 10,000 focus a day, it caps at 30, and then that 10,000 focus you're not using, and it is basically free money.
It's just disappearing.
There's a shorter explanation. I'm not going to go over it, but basically you have 30,000 and you're getting 10,000. You're not getting your extra 10,000, and you're just wasting free money.
It replenishes every day to the tune of 10,000 focus.
Into money.
Yeah, like if you're not actively burning all your focus every day, you're losing 10,000 focus a day every day.
Yep.
That you're over 30,000. So in 3 days of not using your focus, if you're premium, you're losing just that focus is just disappearing. Whether you use it, whether you donate it, whatever. It's just it's poofing.
Just to give you guys a small example of how much money you can make with refining at max spec, you can look at profits around 120 to 150 silver per one focus. When you get 10,000 per day, that's in the millions. You could be making millions daily just by refining for a couple of minutes. All you have to do is put in some time and effort. That's all you have to do. And I'm helping you without there is no effort. Just pick up the the ore or whatever resource.
You want me to get super simple for you guys, but to go into focus, if you really don't want to do refining, crafting, etc., there's another way that you can donate your focus and also get spec in farming with islands and stuff. Overdose, you want to go over that real quick?
Exactly. I still need a few new island tenders and people who want to donate their
We need
islands.
a lot
So
of
if
new
you have
island tenders.
if you have islands you don't use, especially farm plots for the start, later it's going to be more about the house slots. But for now we're looking especially for farm slots and people who are willing to spend some of their time tending to those farm slots, farm plots. Yes.
If someone wants to do farming but they don't want to do carrots or cabbage, they can grow herbs as well, and they can grow animals.
They're
whether
actually
it's
better.
livestock or horses or oxes as well, right?
It's actually better to grow herbs over anything else.
There's lots of ways we can plug you in.
Into,
Hold on 1 second. Overdose. We can plug you in to grow whatever. So two things to be clear, because kind of got talked over. If you have premium and you have the ability, you're not using an island, whether it's a personal island or a guild island, right? Contact Overdose. And if you don't want to do any of the crafting refining, but you still are premium and you have focus and you want to try to get some specs in herbology or fucking farming or animals or whatever, contact Overdose.
Exactly. Like to be quite honest with you, the seed farming is not the same silver per focus that refining is. But with the high crafting tax at the moment, it can be more beneficial than actually crafting itself. In some cases, if you have high spec, so there's that. Also, it's a super safe, stable income if you do it. So if you're interested in getting your farming spec up and or even are willing to water some of the plants we're growing, which would increase the money we make, then contact me. If you want to tend to farms, though, you'll have to have premium, right? Because otherwise you only get half the yield, and that's pretty much when we would start losing money. So yeah, just there should still be a spreadsheet in announcements if you haven't filled it out yet, but are interested in tending to islands, laborers, farms, and stuff like that. Put it in.
What are you waiting for?
Overdose, I want to ask you the same question I asked Muggle. How hard would it be if I was a new bro? Just got premium. I have 30,000 focus, but I don't have a lot of money. How hard would it be for me to get set up day one with you doing farming of any kind, whether it's
It would be
vegetables
a
are-
relatively. It would be a similar process to the refining
You're talking
because
about
you would
money.
just get a
He's
chest.
talking about money. Yep.
You would just get a chest, and access to an island, and you could tell me what you want to plant. I wouldn't mind anything really, like as long as you do it, just plant it. And I could probably set you up from 0 to 100 within 20 minutes.
And that includes animals, right?
Hmm?
That includes the animals for planting.
We have not set that up yet, but it is actually decent money. I just have to run the numbers. I haven't run the numbers on animals yet. It will definitely be viable for production animals like that produce milk and eggs. It might also be valuable for general like meat. But I have to run the numbers on that. I only have run the numbers on farms and herb gardens so far.
Thank you.
So yeah, that's
I got two questions. First one, is anyone, because I'm getting a lot of DMs right now, is there anyone handling crafting donations? As of right now?
We do not have a crafting civic director currently.
That is something we'll get to that in a few. No, there's nobody really handling crafting. We are actively looking for somebody to focus or to handle crafting. Right now, it's pretty much you, Muggle, until we
Yes.
find somebody that's willing to step up.
Okay. Then we'll talk about that later. But one more thing, are you guys accepting right now island donations? Because I asked a while back and they said currently no. Okay.
Yes, we need
Please, if you have islands,
So we
especially
need
on
tons of
farms.
islands, farms, guild islands, personal islands, people attend them, etc. Yes, if you have stuff hanging around that isn't being used, by all means, please get in contact with the appropriate person.
Also, I'm looking for a couple of Fletcher laborers at the moment. Like if you have an island that you used to use but do not use anymore with Fletchers on them, that would be a literal gold mine for the Alliance at the moment. Because we have a couple thousand Fletcher books hanging around, but no Fletcher laborers. And if I can't fix that within the next few days, I'll have to fix it otherwise. But if somebody has a Fletcher, an island with Fletcher laborers on them that they don't use, that would probably be.
I got a guild island with Fletchers on it. Get with me.
I love you.
Okay.
Please donate.
Please donate. So yeah, if you don't use it, please donate it. But by no means
I don't use
screw
it.
up
It got
your
me
internal
hooked on
economy.
7 days.
But if you're watering seeds, or if you're growing seeds and watering them to make money on a personal level, I would strongly suggest looking into refining because the profit margin is much better in refining. Full
Yeah,
disclosure.
we're not asking. Like,
Um,
if you're a new player, like, focus on your own internal economy. We can help you with that. At the end of the day, if you're relying on your farms to pay for your personal economy, do not donate them, please. As much as we
Yeah, don't screw over your personal silver making. Like, don't go back from being able to lose 6-1 to a 5-1 just so you can donate something to the Alliance. Just wait. Like, your economy just like naturally strengthens over time, and yeah, that's that. So just
Overdose. After the Alliance meeting, get with me because I got more islands and I know what to count for.
all right, I'll do that. I know who you are. I don't need the name.
Okay, the rest is SIGs. What else do we have to go over? Carly, have you already gone over Bomb Squad?
Yes, you did.
Okay. Have you gone over our HCEs overdose?
No, I have not yet.
Can you do it?
Give me a second. I'm putting up the sheet again. But Androx didn't go over fame farming, which is pretty much the.
Oh, I thought we already
umbrella
did.
team,
Like,
so-
I thought we already did. Fucking.
No, no, no.
Okay.
Androx.
Okay, so I'm Mandrox. I'm the grouchy uncle of the Alliance. Just so you know, you'll know where you stand with me one way or the other. I don't shoot around or beat around the bush. But anyway, neither here nor there. Fame Farm. It's so that you can get your gear up to a higher level. You can fame up that weapon that you want to play in ZVZ, that weapon that you want to play in Fame Farm to get those fame credits that you can put into the PvP gear.
to do bigger and better PvP to really slam those guys to get some good money. Right now, my co-leaders are Overdose doing the HCEs. I call him X. It's X Tealon. I don't even know how to say it, but he's X. And Nimson. They are my co-leads of the Fame Farm SIG. They do Avalonians and Hardcores. You'll be hearing from Overdose soon. Just to be clear, I have some good news and some bad news. Who wants to? What do you want first?
The good news, please.
The good news is we're going to start doing drunken karaoke on the days that end in Y instead of Friday. The Friday night Drunken Fame Farm is going to be no longer happening. That's the bad news. But with the good news, we're going to try to do it on other days and other times, depending on when we can have them. With Hoagie, what he's going to be doing is running some new bros out, doing some new bro groups, and I will be as well. So we're going to get those guys to 4.1 and get their Reaver up to 5 and 6 so they can get out in the black zone and do some real fame. We're actively encouraging the Fame Farm builds that Hoagie came up with, and he collaborated with me to get you into an efficient Fame Farm build. With that said, we've crafted and donated enough stuff to have some 4.2 relic weapons. I believe he had an event yesterday that I'd like him to talk about, see how it went, see what you guys think of it if you were involved. But with the Fame Farm SIG, we are actively looking for a way that we can gear you guys with gear that you can eventually make it to tier 6 and 7 and maybe even the 8s and maybe even the static eventually, hopefully. And where we can get you doing bigger and better things. And we're looking for people to step up, lead groups. If you want to even become a right-hand man or woman and you want to step up and you know how to Fame Farm or you're willing to learn, we are actively looking for leaders to lead Fame Farm groups. Any amount of effort that you're willing to donate to the Fame Farm SIG to help new bros level up to that 4.1 to get at the basic level or above, we are all for you being able to help us. Whether you just want to join the SIG and just lead groups without in an unofficial capacity, that is fine, because regardless of being in the SIG or not, you can run Fame Farms yourself. And as the leader of that group, you are the person that determines the requirements for that group. Just to be clear, that's how the Fame Farm SIG works, and that's how it's going to continue to work. The advantages to being in the Fame Farm SIG: you get to ping out other people that want to do Fame Farms with the Fame Farm ping. As a group leader, you are more trusted. If you're running a group, you're able to really, people know that you know what you're talking about, or you should. That you know poison rotations, you know the boss fights, you know the kill order, you know all that stuff, and you're able to then teach new bros or even lead an experienced group. Another advantage of being in the Fame Farm SIG, you get in the contest, which has fantastic prizes. But to get into that, to even know about that, you need to be in the Fame Farm SIG. As well, we do Avalonians. From now on, the Avalonians, because of the CTAs, and we are at war, people. So what we're going to do is we're going to run Fame Farm SIP groups. We are going to have an experienced group of people go through, clear up to the bosses, and then we're going to invite people in the Avalonian SIG first, get them in, get them their SIP, which with a SIP, if you don't know what it is, it's a 10% fame buff for a week that lasts through death. Again, that's a 10% fame buff that lasts for a week and persists through death. And that's what we're going to get the Alliance. Plus, you will have the experience of killing those bosses. And that's only if you're in the Fame Farm SIG and in the Avalonians. Now, to get into the Avalonians, there's a little bit of criteria with that. I'll let X and Nim talk about that. But there is requirements. However, if you bear with us, we have a lot of people offering to come in and do the Avalonians and get the SIP, because that fame buff is fantastic. So just bear with us. We'll get you in, we'll get you going, and we'll get it happening. So that's the news from the Fame Farm SIG.
Well, more importantly, and this goes for every SIG and squad in the Alliance. If you're wondering how you might be able to help the Alliance, we need tons more people in ganking and Fame Farm and everything else, taking groups out, helping lead groups, helping get people going. There's no shortage of work to be done to help get us to where we need to go as an alliance, so we can provide a good experience for all the new bros and regular content and protect our areas, right? All right. Overdose hardcore expeditions.
Yes, hardcore expeditions. As always, I need tanks. I'm right now trying to make some videos, but I personally am not satisfied with my performance to make that presentable in the video at the moment. But I'll do a little series with the polls over the next week, hopefully, fingers crossed. So everybody can pretty much and a little bit of technique to tanking, so everybody can pick up a set and tank an HCE with the correct polls. I'll also find out the skips because I usually full clear, but a lot of groups in the public hardcore expedition Discord and LFG channels usually skip like half of the dungeon, so you'll have the option to do that if you want to just like speed run lower tiers, stuff like that. So I'll do a full guide how to HCE properly in video. What stuff is dangerous, etc., etc. But yeah, hardcore expeditions itself are a completely locked off section of the game that you will not you'll not be able to engage in PvP combat. There's literally no way to die and lose the gear in hardcore expeditions, which is why we run very expensive sets. Usually 3 to 5 million is what you look at for a starting set, simply because you also need it. You just can't do a lot of content if you do not have decent sets, or at least not to an efficient level. But it's pretty much hardcore expeditions pretty much trades efficiency to safety. Like you'll not get as much fame as you would in a tier 8 group dungeon until you get like really high tier hardcores, but you'll have no chance of getting ganked. Like there's no way to lose the gear. You'll only lose silver if you die. And it's also a really good way to get fame credits, because the monsters drop way more silver to compensate for guaranteed item drops that you will not have. So it's really good way to just like not lose money, but just like generate fame credits with time. There's that. So if you're a more advanced player, just hit me up. You need to be in the Fame Farm SIG to see the channels for Hardcore Expedition. So if you're interested, and just hit me up in general, join the Fame Farm SIG via the reaction bot, and before you buy a set, hit me up. I'll help you, show you a couple of tricks. Usually people save like half a mil to a mil silver with a bit of with a bit of my methods per set. That's all.
All right, Avalonians.
Yeah, sure, I'll go. Hey everybody, I'm X, one of the directors of Avalonians that Androx just talked about. I want to first off just state right off the bat that I am sorry that we are not doing Avalonians the way that we were before the war started. There's just not enough time between CTAs and not enough time in the day to be able to get everybody together to do them the standard way at this moment. Now, we are looking actively at any way to change that. We would love to take suggestions and any ideas you guys have. But like Androg said, we are currently going to be attempting to get everybody that SIP still, so they can still gain the 10% fame buff for general fame farm. I know it's not maybe as fun as what everybody was having with the full raids, but that's what we're going to go for. We're going to do attempted clears, maybe sit scouts in between during CTAs if they're unable to show up to the CTA and they sit in there, they'll be paid for it. And we're going to come back and make sure that everybody can get the SIP after a CTA. We're working on getting you the Avalonian. And for the new bros that don't know, if you've ever heard of WoW or any other large-scale MMO with 20-man raids, 40-man raids, Avalonians in this game is the 20-man raiding team of the entire game. There is a set of bosses that we teach you. There are set polls that will teach you what mobs do in there. It's a little bit more intense than a standard fame farm, requires a little bit higher of a gear set. If you join the Fame Farm SIG, you can check the pinned messages. There's an Avalonian sign-up sheet. Just put your name in there, fill out the form, and we'll get to you. If we don't get to you right away, again, there's a lot going on. We don't forget you. We will not forget you. Give us a bit to get through everyone, and we'll talk to you. And Nim, if you want to add anything, go for it.
No, pretty much that was good.
Thanks, guys.
Alright, we missed any other SIGs?
We should
I
not
didn't
have
mind
plenty
before the
achievements.
meeting, so no.
I think we just jumped over logistics.
I kind of did mine before the meeting.
Yeah, we want you to do it again with everybody here, because we definitely need more people helping with logistics.
Alright, so I'm going to briefly run over with logistics. To put it simply, is transport. Also, hi, I'm Cesari. I run logistics along with Grogit and Cozy Dream. Logistics is basically moving things from one place to another, whether it be in the world or in the Black Zone. And as you will see with what we are going to explain after I'm done with what I'm saying, logistics is going to be exponentially expanding, and I want as many people as possible who want to help with logistics to join it. You can join the Logistics SIG by going to the Join SIGs channel, scrolling down to the logistics section, and reacting to it based with the reaction to apply. I think it's the elephant, I'm not sure. But basically, by the time Rudolph comes out, and Rudolph is the name of the update, that's what I'm calling it, I want to have about 6 total people running logistics. If running logistics interests you, get in contact with me as soon as possible so I can sort of get you connected with what's actually going on, so you can start helping out. And I also want to have a meeting with the entire logistics SIG on Monday or Tuesday. You can go, if you are a part of the logistics SIG, please go to logistics info and react if you can come and with what time works for you. At that meeting, I'm going to be going over not only how logistics is going to help out with what we are planning on doing in season 10 with the Rudolph update, but also about about how I want to pay logistics people in July and going forward. It's going to be talking about the compensation plan for people who are doing logistics for the Alliance so that everyone can get paid for doing logistics. That's it.
All right. Was the sick part of the Alliance meeting. I think Voltel has something interesting to say now.
Okay, so about SIGs, before we get to feature plans, Myths of Avalon, war, etc. XUp in general, if you have any questions about SIG squads, how to join them, how to get involved, etc. Anybody? There are no stupid questions.
That's general chat in Discord, guys. Check general chat in Discord. Control K if you can't find it, but it's near the top.
Any questions? Going once. Is anybody next up?
I think that's a no.
I don't think there are any.
There you go. What kind of commitment does the logistics
Hello,
SIG require of you?
I just want to.
You can XUp an alliance, so we don't have multiple people talking at the same time. So first question is, please, whoever it is, you're hot miking, please mute it. What kind of commitment does the logistics SIG require of you, sir?
Logistics as a whole doesn't really require much except for a willingness to learn how to do transport runs. And as of right now, this is going to change, but as of right now, because we are getting everything started, you are going to have to provide your own gear. Obviously, once insurance is set up.
We'll talk about that. No, I'll fund the gear. No, we'll talk about this. Sorry, it's no.
All right.
The alliance will provide the gear. I don't know where that came from.
Oh, we never talked about it, so I've just been telling people to provide their own gear for now. But we can talk about that when you're available. Sure, definitely.
So not a whole lot of time requirements. Anyways, cool. Next question from Hugan's Keeper. What's your question?
You can type your question out if you
I think he
want.
typed it. It's are there chests in HCE?
But I would usually just like,
so they're chests and ACs.
yes, but they only contain silver most of the time. They are not like dungeon chests. They are like the chests that you break, that you kill to open them. And there is
Yeah.
no place where you really get loot in HCEs. But for
It's not
example,
huge loot.
yesterday somebody got a 6.3 Morningstar, but it only happens like once a blue moon. But sometimes
You
will
get way better drops in the black zone with maps or static dungeons.
Like it's
That being
like
said, you get a
it's
ton of
pretty much-
fame safely with silver.
Yes, it's pretty much like HCEs has two modes. One is fame credit, the other one is the silver making mode. It's pretty much just like if you turn off auto respec, you'll not get fame credits, but you'll get like 1 million silver in an hour just from doing HCEs. If you turn on auto respec, you'll basically even out. Like you'll not make silver, you'll not lose silver. If you have to repair every like two or three dungeons like once, you'll not make or lose silver, but you'll make decent amounts of fame credits. That's that.
Okay, cool. Next question was from Frankie. What you got, Frankie?
Hiya. When it comes to focus points and refining, if there's something particular that I want to refine, is that okay? Do I get to choose where I want to kind of build my
Yes.
focus? And
Yes.
also, let's say I've got an alt that I've just created. How long would it take to start making real money on a new account that's just
If
got
you did
premium?
it, if you did it regularly to make any kind of efficient income, it might take you a few weeks to a month, depending if you're doing it consistently. And we're talking about real money. We're talking like the ability to do like 1 million plus a day. Overdose can kind of cover more of the formulas, but it really depends on, you know, how consistently you're doing it, at what level you're refining, etc., etc., etc.
The most important part is to refine in the city your thing is bonused in. Like that's the most important part.
Yeah,
Because
and we
then
we
you'll-
handle setting up the mats in those bonus cities. So all you gotta do is naked transport to XYZ city for whatever it is you're doing. Grab your stuff out of the chest, go refine it, put it back.
Exactly. And the usually like the first real breakpoint starts at 30 spec. That's both for crafting and refining because that's when you really start feeling the spec. It also is really fast, especially if you're learning point, if you really want to invest into a refining spec, because personally don't use learning points for combat. That's the golden rule. If you can help it. Use it for crafting, refining, or even better, gathering if you gather. If you don't gather,
Okay,
use
so-
it for crafting or refining.
Sorry, can
Okay,
I
so-
continue on that?
Hold on,
Because
hold on. Who is this? Did you accept?
it's Hoggy. I want to continue on Frankie question.
Okay, go ahead.
Because Frankie, I was doing basically a new char lately, and to be honest, I did it myself without refining for SIG, but it required a lot of investment in time and in silver to do it properly. So if you are not setting an alt, you want to do refining on your main account, I would say that refining for guild is quite efficient way of specking up.
At the start, you'll make less than 50,000 silver with 30,000 focus. Like the efficiency at the start is ridiculously bad, right? Especially since they changed a bit around with the formula and cut down on the efficiency hard, because it used to be the case that you could refine 2 or 3 times what you can at the moment, and they just like tuned up the cost because it was just not feasible. That in return made the materials a bit more expensive, but also increased the value of the focus itself. So yeah, like once you hit like with tier 5, with tier 4, you'll not make money, right? It's just like you make so little money on the refining of 4 or 4.1. It's just like you throw the focus out of the window pretty much. It really starts to get valuable towards 5.1, 6.1, or 6 flat. But that's, you need some time to do that. If you learning point those two levels, you'll kickstart your economy, admittedly. And that's a really efficient way to use your focus, just like it is efficient to use your
We
focus
have
to
a
get gathering.
lot to go over, guys. Let's try to keep the answers as brief as possible. DOTPT, whatever. How do you dot? Or, I don't know how to say that. Yep.
Thanks for the opportunity. I just wanted to know if you guys have anything planned out for alchemy or crafting, because I believe I could help on that.
Yeah, we do. Short answer is we do. We are currently looking for a new SIG director for crafting, but yes, we have a lot of plans to create. Just to be clear, all these SIGs are about creating a localized economy inside Newbie, so that you can, get things cheaper, as well as contribute to the overall success of the alliance. So absolutely. Did that answer your question?
I did. So I should join the crafting SIG and go about it from there.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Honestly, if any of these things sound interesting, you're more than welcome to check out the special interest group. And if it's not for you, you don't have to, commit to anything. Patty DX, Jesus criminy, we need fucking some easier names here. Go ahead and ask your question.
Pat asked, how can we go on 8.1 static in BZ since most of the people in the Alliance are having pre-made groups and basically be able to see the static when they need a scout? Even when even looking for group tab in 8.1 doesn't work. Sometimes you can waste 3 to 4 hours for a reply, probably because people don't trust newcomers and they want their pre-made groups. And number 2, by any chance, can Patty help day 1, 2 people, first day people like newbies farm in the blue yellow zone? How does he get in contact to help out new bros in the Royals?
Androx, you want to field that? That's up your alley.
He's AFK.
Yeah, I'm gonna answer the question about the static. So basically, if you will be bringing proper sets, so you won't be bringing like great axe or something weird, then a lot of groups will be happy to take you into the group if you can bring proper IP. I'm trying to take new bros, but like when I'm hosting the groups, I want people to use proper fame farming builds, not something dedicated to doing solos. So if you can bring a dedicated build for fame farming, a lot of groups will take you. So that's the best solution to get into the group. You can try joining fame farming SIG. I'm pinging out some groups there. If we are doing a pre-made, they are open though. So everyone in fame farming SIG can join them. And what was the second question? Was it about helping new bros in blue and yellow zone?
Yeah,
right?
he wants to help blue new bros, like day 1, 2 people in blue and
Okay.
yellow zone.
We and Androx are doing like a thing for new bros that we take them out of the mark block, do some fame farming, get them up to proper gear, so 4.1, and then we take them to Blood Zone. And if you want to help them, you can become a group leader and just start taking groups yourself. If you will ping it out at prime time on looking for a group, a lot of people will be happy to come with you because we have plenty of new bros right now. Does it cover your question?
Amazing, thank you for the reply.
All right. Next question.
Any other questions? We have a lot of stuff to go over. We got an off to do. We want to get some people moved out to the hideout, etc., etc., etc. And speaking of which, while we're talking, can we start? Anybody who wants to move out to the hideout or wants to help with some ops after the alliance meeting PvP? Let's start getting the Brave Vanguard Island and start forming
Yeah, I'm down to help.
Get people moved around, etc. That's Skimo and others. Carly, will you guys start forming up groups while we're talking?
Yeah.
No other questions? Any other questions?
I don't think there's
Going
any
once,
other
going
questions.
twice. Cool. So, who from leadership feels really confident about what our plans are in Mists of Avalon that wants to go over what the basics of what Mists of Avalon are and all of that before we really get into it? It's kind of a test. Does anyone want to go over it?
I can give it a shot.
I don't want to put
Grogan.
any spot, but go for it. That'd be great.
Okay, currently, the only way that you magically travel from one place to another is either the travel planner, or between continents, you can use the realm gate, or if you happen to have your home set in the hideout, you can travel planner there too. The Mist of Avalon will introduce an idea where there will be both static and dynamic portals, kind of like going through gates to another zone, except these zones exist in Avalonian space. There's going to be some mythos about it, etc. And there will be some portals that will access them, and they will be relatively permanent and static, and some that will kind of randomly appear and disappear. And there's going to be various rules, etc. But the key thing is that because there's going to be a limit on how many people can go through a portal, depending on whether it's a small, medium, or large portal, for smaller and medium-sized guilds, it's going to be a huge opportunity, because you can't have 1,000 people from a handholder guild coming in through one portal. They're limited. So there's a lot on the horizon. Anything else you wanted me to cover, Rotel?
No, I'll go into more depth. Okay, so long ago, we got notified that there's going to be a Mists of Avalon. If you're an Eve player, it's wormholes for Albion. If you're not an Eve player, essentially there's going to be a static and a dynamic type of wormhole. A static goes from the same point to the same point. It can go from any Mists of Avalon zone, which are zones, territories, essentially like the Black Zone, but better because they'll have Avalonian stuff, chests, loot, etc., higher enchant rates, etc. The portals can go from any Black Zone, any Red Zone, Yellow Zone, Blue Zone, and any Mists of Avalon zone to any other Mists of Avalon zone, Black Zone, Red Zone, Yellow Zone. So there's static, which means they're the same size, same place, and there's dynamic, randomly generated wormholes, right? Now, why that's important is, as he was saying, there's only a certain amount of people who can go through it. As it stands right now, Noob in its current size could go into a zone and do what's called rolling the holes, right? Which means depleting the holes, because they only regenerate a certain amount over a certain period. So once you use all the capacity of the holes, no other people can come through. We could literally go into a zone as Noob and control the wormholes in that zone, and literally the entire server could try to attack us, and they would be literally incapable of doing so. So that gives a huge advantage to the defenders, the people that are actually living in there. Number two is it will allow us, because we have software being developed and a new SIG that has not yet been announced, but I'm going to announce it now, which is a recon SIG, scouting, finding these wormholes, mapping them out, etc., where we're going to be able to pretty much go from any point in the game to any point in the game in about 5 minutes. So if you want to go from Martlock to Thetford in 5 minutes, you'll be able to use our routing software to figure out the best route, go through the portals, and be there in 5 minutes. And that's for any zone, like literally from the blue zones to the black zones, anywhere, right? So if you kind of understand that, you understand it's a huge defensive advantage for anybody that's living in those Mists of Avalon zones. There's going to be a lot of Mists of Avalon zones. And most of the big power blocks, while some of them are going to be putting little groups in to have some fun and whatever, most of the big power blocks to have zero desire to go into them for various reasons, whether it's they have a Black Zone rental empire they don't want to abandon, or they think it's stupid, or they just don't have the organizational structure to be able to do it. there's tons of reasons, but most people aren't going in. There's a few people that we know are going in, thanks to either relationships we already have or spies. But most of them are already friendly to us or so inconsequential it doesn't matter. So we will never stop having Black Zone, right? But we are going to largely move into the Mists of Avalon once they come out, because it's essentially just a much more securable Black Zone. We'll maintain the Black Zone presences that we have for newer players or people that don't really care about the Mists of Avalon. It isn't their gameplay style. I mean, we're not going to force people to go in. But I mean, everything about it's going to be better, gathering, gaming, money, etc. Ganking's going to be off the charts because you'll literally be able to gank in, Thetford, and then 5 minutes later be in Limhurst ganking, and then be back in Martlock for dinner, right? So once we're in the mists, and this is something we've been planning on as an alliance for probably about 9 months. Once we heard about them coming out, it's going to be pretty much the Black Zone but better. But again, we're not going to be abandoning the Black Zone. It's just we're going to have most of our focus on the Mist of Avalon for a whole bunch of reasons. Defensibility, it'll drastically increase our offensive capability because we can take our dudes and drop them wherever we want on the map at moment's notice, essentially. So it's going to make us a lot more exponentially effective when it comes to military PvP. We can, launch on a territory in Limhurst and then, be back in Martlock 10 minutes later, right? So it's one of those things where, a lot of the alliance have been set up in such a way with the different SIGs, the other departments, the departments that we're trying to create to capitalize upon the Mist of Avalon when we first heard about them coming out. And it'll allow us to essentially be untouchable in a lot of ways. That being said, we're not completely invulnerable, I guess would be the best way of saying it. Eskimo, are you there, bud?
Yeah.
I think you articulated it pretty well as far as what you said about the military side, because obviously you're one of the main shot callers. What's your thoughts on it?
Sorry, I spaced out, but I know we're talking about the mists. What with the portals exactly?
No. As far as like your opinion, the whole thing, as far as what it's going to do for our military, what it's going to do for our defensibility.
Well, to put to the analogies that you had told me, us being in the mists of Avalon, the mists acts like a turtle shell for us. And when we have control over the portals, like when we know where they are and how we can like use them to our own advantage, people can go in and out, wasting the well, not wasting, but like draining the charges of the portal, seal the portal off for ourselves, and then no one can access that. So it's in the sense we're tucking our head into the turtle shell, and it will be nigh impossible for enemies to get into us efficiently. People can slip in, yes. However, if we have a hideout out in the mists and we have our home set there, we're just there. You can travel planar out of it. You can travel planar to it. You can respawn there if you die. And others who don't have hideouts there or are going to be as established as us are going to have a difficult time getting to us. And think of it to the point with the wormholes, like our portals being able to go anywhere. Think of it in the terms of another analogy Volta had put, like Vietnam. We control the tunnels. We can just pop up anywhere and they can't do anything about it.
Except get shot in the butt.
Yes.
So, okay, so Mists of Avalon, because there's more to go over. Basic level, Mists of Avalon. It's coming out in August. That's why we're pushing to build the alliance, as we're pushing to build all these different things. That's why we're highly encouraging you guys to get involved, because there's a lot of work to make it viable and make us, successful in the Mist. Is there any questions that anybody has about the Mist of Avalon, future plans, what we're going to be doing, how it might affect you, whatever? Go ahead and X up in general chat if you have any questions. And yes, Drog said they are definitely the same wormholes in EVE Online. They actually have an EVE Online developer, that's former CCP, helping develop them. They are literally the fucking wormholes from EVE. Yep.
3 citadels. So good.
Okay, so Penkalua, do you have a question? Go ahead and speak up.
The roads, there are exits for the black zones, but are there going to be entrances?
They're two-way
Yes.
portals. All portals are two-way portals. They will lead anywhere from anywhere to anywhere. Statics will be established. Dynamics will bring randomly generating all over. So some portals might go to, say, Sandmount Strand to the Mist. Other portals might go from Sandmount Strand to a yellow zone in Fort Sterling. Right? That's why it's going to be so powerful. We can literally, once we know the routes, we have a software that's being created. Once we have the routes and we know what's where, when, how, we can instantly go from one side of the map to the other. So that has massive implications both from logistics, PvP, and our offensive capability. Yes. So that right now the stands so Lurian the Watcher. So if I'm understanding correctly, they're a whole new zone. That is correct. There will be zones that are transitory zones, like some of the zones that you're familiar with in the black zone that you can't claim. And then there'll be claimable zones where we can drop hideouts, etc. Yes, we can make new hideouts.
It's pretty much also a mechanic to make the map as big and small as it is, because there will be only a set amount of claimable zones. And if the map, like if there is a surge in players, for example, usually during autumn and winter, you'll have more different Mist of Avalon zones. And during summer they'll just reduce, so they can pretty much just make the map bigger and smaller as they need in the moment without anybody noticing. So that's gonna be
As it
good.
stands right now, it looks like there's gonna be about 200 new fresh zones that are actually gonna be settleable once they're discovered. Because to be clear, like, they're gonna be very difficult if you're not putting massive amounts of manpower and resources to scouting them out. Very difficult to map it all out, which we are literally devoting. We're probably going to end up having 50, 60, 70 people helping do that. No, there's no map. There's no shit. It is literally the wild, wild west. Nobody knows what goes where, when, how. That being said, we're involved in playtest, etc. So we'll have a little bit of a jump on the knowledge. And it doesn't seem like a lot of people are giving too much of a shit about it. So, but yes, we will have to map it out and discover.
I'm going to be the first to volunteer for that new SIG to go scouting the Wild Wild West in some 4-1 escape gear. That sounds really fun to me.
Oh, it's gonna be fucking amazing. Like even if you don't give a shit about the roads, it's gonna be just cool new shit that people are gonna be finding. So, and it just going in and discovering 5 or 6 new zones, map, that's gonna be a huge help to the alliance. So, Delris should be getting a message out in the near future. He's probably gonna be running it. If you played Eve or other games and similar type playstyles, and you understand what I'm talking about when I'm saying recon, etc., and have any concept of what we're talking about or any interest in what I'm talking about, message myself or Delris, because we're forming that up here in the next little bit.
Also, contrary to my desire, we can't name the zones, sadly. So Zony makes zone phase is not an option.
Yeah. Okay. Scale of entry, exit points in the each miss zone. With a minimum 40 portals, maximum 4. No. The randoms are going to throw it out the door. There could be 2 entrances. There could be 10. Again, that's why we need the scouts, etc. That hasn't been finalized at all. But we'll see what happens. Right. If Eve is anything to go by, it'll probably be somewhere around 2 to 5. But we'll see. Are there going to be any non-missed entry exit points? Yes. A portal can go from any point in the fucking game, including the Mist of Avalon, to any point in the game. So you can go from a yellow zone to a yellow zone. Does that answer your question? Yeah, I guess. What do you mean? Okay, so what don't you, I guess, just speak in comms if you can, please.
No, those Mist of Avalon zones will not have adjacent zones. You can
Yes,
in
they
the
will.
Mist of Avalon zone can only be reached via a portal, like one of these nebula.
No. Right now, as it stands, it's portal to portal. A Mist of Avalon zone can connect to a Mist of Avalon zone, but it's not like a traditional mapping portal as it stands right now. There is discussion about possibly changing that, but as it stands right now, the answer is no. Any other questions? Both. I guess question we covered at the beginning. Both. There will be both static and dynamics. If it's a random, it'll be randomly generated. If it's static, it'll be static. By the definition of the name, that should explain it.
The static is not a specific entrance to a specific zone, right? It's a
What?
specific entrance to a specific zone type, isn't it?
No. Static is static. There'll be connecting points between various places that are static.
Okay, here's a question from a non-Eve player. How can you tell the difference between a static and a random portal?
They are colored differently at the moment.
As it stands right now, it's colored differently. There'll probably also be a different text pop-up that comes up when...
Okay, fair enough.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I disconnected. Does that answer your question, Androx?
Yeah. Yeah.
For as it stands right now, there'll be probably different text as well as different. There'll probably be one of, hey, this is leading to blah blah blah. It's yada yada yada, and this one is unknown blah blah blah. But that's why we're gonna need scouts, and they'll be different colors. We can't necessarily count on them being different colors, but that's how it is right now.
So I guess the logistics of the second question that I asked was, in terms of like the actual scouting, are the scouts going to go through the entire zone and scout it inch by inch to find the portals, or are they going to be?
They're on the mini map.
Yeah, they're on the mini map.
In the trailer.
Yeah, so a scout's gonna go into a zone, find all the portals, identify what they are, notate it in the software, see where they go, notate that size, all that stuff, and then move on to the next one.
All going to be on the mini map.
As it stands now, yes. Again, we were literally getting information as it develops in development talks, right? So that's subject to change. Any other questions about mists? Going once, going twice. Now there's a Mist of Avalon theory crafting channel in the Discord. If any of this stuff sounds interesting to you, please join that channel. That's SIG. I guess it's not really a SIG, it's more of just a channel. Okay, so on to the next, which is
about joining that channel, Wokel? As a new bro or as me, how would we go about joining that channel?
should be under the reaction SIG. Has somebody gone over that as far as how to apply to a SIG overdose?
Nope.
Can we do that, please?
Sorry, what?
How somebody applies to a SIG?
Usually you just whisper the SIG leader.
No,
or
no more. Stop.
reaction.
Never, ever message a SIG leader. We have a channel that makes sure that you guys don't get dropped in the sauce, right? No more. No. We have tons of people that are messaging to join SIGs. We have a channel specifically for joining SIGs, right? It's called Apply to SIGs.
Well, for HCEs, you can message me because that's a bit more complicated.
And join SIGs. We also have
Yes.
join SIGs.
So join SIGs, if you scroll up, there's a list of all the SIGs that you can react to the specific SIGs that are open recruitment. Other SIGs have specific requirements, such as recon, such as the other things where you put in apply to SIGs and say what you'd like to join. Do not DM people because most likely they're getting 100 DMs a day and there's a good chance of that being missed. Leadership relatively regularly goes through the apply to SIGs channel, and they should be check marking when they add somebody to it. I don't see that being happening right now, but we'll get that happening. So if there's a reaction ability, so the emoji, if you guys scroll up to the join SIGs, you can see you can just apply by reacting to the SIG announcement. And then for the ones that don't have reaction ability, that have requirements like Bomb Squad or Brave Vanguard or ITA or whatever, then you just put in to the apply to SIGs that you'd like to join, and the leaders of that SIG will get in touch with you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Androx, does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Because that was asked to me, and I wasn't sure what to tell him.
Yeah. Do not rely on DMing people. Just please no. Like, it needs to be in public so people know what's going on. Make sure if somebody misses you, that somebody else is following up with you. I don't want people getting upset because, like, hey, I messaged so-and-so to join and do XYZ, and they never got a response. Well, unfortunately, a lot of members of leadership get a ridiculous amount of messages. So,
And just to add to that, as we scale up, there will be people in different time zones that can react, or people on vacation, etc. If it's not in a common area, if you DM one specific person, there's no guarantee you'll get a reply, even if they don't get DM'd to death. They may be on vacation or whatever. That's why we have this open system of apply to SIGs, and then people can respond if they're right hand or whatever, and someone else is on in vacation and there's a requirement. Otherwise, you just check the little emoji. You want to join Lions Legion? Click on the little lion and you'll be added to the number of people who are in that SIG. The channels will show up, information is there, and you can always drop out. You're not required on those SIGs to do anything. You can just explore them and stay in them or not.
yep. And the reason we don't just like give out, just open it up to everybody is, I can tell you right now, and every member of leadership can attest, if you saw the channels in this Discord, your mind would explode and you'd hate life. So that's why we do it that way. All right. Any other questions about anything to do with plans, future plans, how you can get involved, how you can get plugged into SIGs and squads? Going once, going twice.
Do we have a main objective at all?
For
I know
what?
I know it's a broad statement. I mean,
we have a dozen objectives every fucking day. Like, what are you asking?
No. I know. No, I didn't know if there was like a main objective you were trying to achieve as a guild. That's all.
Have fun, not be dicks.
Have fun, not be dicks. Train new
Really?
bros. Take fucking territories, and again, have
Okay.
fun.
Yeah, no.
Like, if you want to have specific objectives, that's fine. We can talk
There
about that.
is not really a single objective. Each SIG might have objectives.
Yeah.
No, perfect. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we have good relations with other guilds. There are people, and we have an open door policy, people who enjoy ganking or ZVZ so much, and we don't do enough of it. And we contact players that were in our guild, and we hand them off to a guild that specializes in it, so they're still having fun. We are here to keep the game alive. More people play, more people who keep playing it, the better it is, the more content that there is, the more likely they're going to keep developing it, etc.
Well, the reality is, if you think the Alliance is missing some kind of content, whatever it is, and to be clear, we are. There's multiple SIGs that haven't even been started yet. By all means, suggest them, and very often you'll find yourself running one. If you do, it's literally, there's no shortage of things to do and ideas, and if you come up with a good idea of, hey, I want to do XYZ end game content, blah blah blah, absolutely suggest it, and if there's the ability leadership wise to make it happen, we'll try to make it happen. I mean, Lions Legion, for example, with the faction warfare, is something I've wanted for 6 months, and not until like a month ago did we find somebody who actually enjoys it and wanted to do it and is running with it, right? So, like, just because you see a certain type of activity not happening here doesn't mean it's that we don't want it to happen. It's just there's only so many hours in the day for, you know, the directors and the leadership team and everything else to just get shit done. That being said, I mean, the goal is to have, you know, a large community that has content for virtually every playstyle, from, you know, brand new bros all the way up to, you know, bomb squad deleting 25 last warn dudes, right? So, you know, it's ideally the goal is to have an
4 o'clock.
organization that supports every type of playstyle, at least to some extent. Whether you just want to, you know, do logistics and move shit around the Royal Zone or do faction warfare, or if you want to be a 400, you know, banger deleting Zergs, there should be a place here for you, right? And if there isn't, that's the goal, is to have that for everybody. If that makes sense. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
And to be honest with you, since it seems like there's a lot of groups out there that don't like fucking new player groups for various reasons, we also want to have the goal, you know, the goal of being strong enough to defend ourselves against a group that comes in, decides they're going to try to fuck with new bros all day long. You know, we can sit there and clear the fucking area so that our new bros can do shit. All right, any other questions? We have some war shit to go over because I'm sure you guys have noticed the things are getting hotter. Oh, Tristan the Bull has a question about refining SIG. Go ahead, Tristan.
Yeah, I just want to know, like, I've got my stone refining up to expert, like a 7 on the 7 of 100 on 4. What can I do to help out the guild? Talk to me.
Message Muggle, and he'll get you plugged in, refining some stuff, and getting that spec built up.
Okay, I sent him a DM, so I'll be
Back to DMs.
Channel.
Apply to
Focus
SIG.
station.
Use the apply to SIG channel.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Or join SIG. I think you can join Silver Squad without. Let me see. Is Silver Squad automatic?
The specific SIG are, but I'm not sure if Silver Squad is.
Okay. Either way, either join or apply. If you don't see it where you can react in there, just put it in the apply channel, and that should handle it.
There's a specific channel that Muggle watches called Focus Donations.
Yes, but you have to be in Silver Squad first to be able to do that, I believe.
Yeah, okay. I joined as SIG already, so focus donations. That's what I need to know. Thanks.
All right. Any other questions, guys? We got some stuff to do. All right, no questions. So wartime. So we are going to be allied with Arch. Obviously, everybody knows that. We're going to be fighting in the north against a coalition sent to kill us and Arch. Who's hot micing? That's really annoying. If you need to, like, put it on push to talk, please do. Otherwise, you'll be server muted. All right. We're going to Warp. As everybody's noticed, we've been doing a lot more PvP, a lot more ops. That's been getting ready for the war. The rural war starts in earnest on Monday. As you can see, the home zone that our hideouts are in, at least for Strand, have been launched on by multiple enemies. So we need everybody to be, you know, getting out to the hideout, getting gear from mentors if you're a brand new bro. Obviously, Brave Vanguard knows what they're doing. If you're a more seasoned veteran player, you know, check the ZVZ builds, check all that stuff, and start getting involved. Make sure you have some gear in the hideout to start being able to fight and defend. We're going to try to keep everything going as normal, as far as, you know, when there's not home defense ops or, you know, fights, keeping all the rest of the stuff going as normal. Ganking, absolutely. Everybody here, please get involved with ganking. Ganking keeps the area relatively secure except for major ops. So, you know, we need people out there ganking and killing and taking, you know, our enemies' loots and farming their salt. But that just demoralizes them if they're getting, you know, killed and narrate one gear by a bunch of new bros. That's embarrassing. So just we definitely will need more gankers. If you've never ganked or whatever, the Alliance will hand you gear. We will hand you gear, and we will go out and show you how to do it. It's not difficult. It's easy income. It's easy kills, and you're helping out the Alliance whenever we're not fame farming or gathering or whatever it is that we're doing, right? So we need people. If you have, I'm sorry, what was the question? Please talk more about gang. I don't know what that. No, please talk more about ganking. I guess. What do you want to know? What, like, you grab some gear from the Alliance and you go kill people and liberate their loot. It's pretty straightforward. What do you want to know? Join the ganking sig, please. Join the ganking sig. Again, you can join the ganking sig by, I believe, reacting to the emoji. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
Cool.
Yes, you can.
That's right. Anybody join ganking, and then you can ask all the questions or about builds or etc. Right there in the ganking sig. There'll be more channels. You can see specific things to ganking, etc. Does that answer your question? If you even remotely, if the hideout were to theoretically fall, it will be asset safety to the closest watch. So you're not going to lose your shit. That being said, number one rule in the black zone is never have tons of shit. That's why we have logistics. That's why we have buyback programs. And that's why we pretty regularly do ops to move shit to and from the hideout. If you're a newer player, you don't want a whole lot of shit in the hideout. Because here's the thing. Even outside of wartime, the biggest group in the game can come sit on our faces and whack our hideout down if they so were inclined, right? We do have defensive packs with Arch. But at the end of the day, if PoE and Squawk, who are hand-holding, or were hand-holding until, I guess, Mojo decided to go after Syndic. Oh, I don't know how that happened. But at the end of the day, there's always a bigger fish out there. Until we're in Mist of Avalon, always assume that your stuff is at risk in the black zone. Do not leave a city and go into a black zone or red zone with anything you're not willing to lose. Period. End statement. That is number one rule of Albion, right? Do not fucking go out there with shit that you're not willing to lose, because there's a good chance, especially if you don't know what you're doing or you're with friends or you're just doing shit solo, you will lose. Number two, with the hideouts, I highly recommend never having more than a tab of shit. Essentially, don't have more than you can get out, in a relatively reasonable time, Now the hideout is upgraded to level 3, so they've got a full commit every day for 5 days, which means if we interrupt them once, it resets. And I can guarantee you, there's a very slim chance we wouldn't be able to do that. We've done it as a smaller group against the largest group in the game, PoE, and we didn't have anywhere near the allies and support that we have with Arch at this current state. But that being said, absolutely, anything in the black zone is always, there's always the possibility that, PoE and Squawk and everybody could just come to Strand and fuck Strand for a week straight. That's possible. I doubt it, but it's possible. Worst case scenario, we'll probably get launched on, and they'll take a swipe or two at it. We'll massive a big defensive arch. We'll reset it. They'll go do something else. We'll take the territory back. To be clear, us and Arch, we outmatch the enemy in EU. Our only risk is NA. That's why we don't have anything in NA besides, fucking around with people's territories and launching on NA for content. That's why all of our holdings are in EU zones. We have the ability to defend in EU. But again, you never know what's going to happen in the black zones. So if it does get taken down all the way and destroyed, your stuff will not be lost. It will go to Arthur's Rest, and then we would help get it out.
Be aware, resources, while they will be moved, it's literally not worth going to collect them.
Actually,
resources,
correction. If the Strand hideout goes down, the resource, the stuff in your chest will go to Martlock. It does not go to Arthur's Rest.
Oh, is it going to Martlock now?
Yeah, it should go to
Strand goes to Martlock.
Regardless of where it goes, though, resources and anything with a really big travel cost modifier get exponentially more expensive to reclaim. It's generally not like if you've got to choose what to move back in an emergency, it's the resources because
move the resources. Try to keep as light a footprint as you
treasures.
can. So just have ZBZ gear, just have ganking gear, Fame Farm gear, shit that you need to live out in the Black Zone. If you get loot, either move it out yourself, move it out with some friends, use the Alliance buyback logistics program, but don't be the dude that has 27 fucking tabs of shit in the hideout that you're squirreling away for a rainy day. Don't be that dude. Because you're gonna hate life, and you're literally gonna have tens of millions in recovery costs. It's what I think 15% of the travel cost modifier, or something like that.
Kind of. It's not based on it's based on the item value, but then can be multiplied by the Basically, stuff costs stuff, and then sometimes stuff costs more stuff. If anyone wants to know numbers, I'll talk to you about it afterwards. But we don't need to go into that right now.
They're very boring and will really not help you. It's general the idea about those numbers.
Anyways, like my recommendation, what I do personally, or what I recommend doing personally, is I haven't done it personally, is I'm busy doing other shit, so I've been accumulating shit like I've been talking about. You shouldn't. Is don't have more than one tab of shit. Just period. If you get above one tab, move it out. Use the Alliance buyback program. At the end of the day, like, use the Alliance buyback program, and you're not really concerned about having it cashed out immediately. It's going to take a few days to a week to move shit out. Obviously, might be a little bit more time because we're at war to dodge enemy zergs and gankers and all that stuff. That's what we need everybody else out there doing shit, ganking, ZBZing, etc., to kind of quiet the area down. But at the end of the day, you don't take that risk. The Alliance does. We move it. You get, pretty much the same value if you, friggin' moved it to Marlock and sold it. Because we're going to be looking for the most valuable city to sell it in. Sometimes there's pretty big spreads between, say, Marlock and Limhurst or Thetford or Fort Sterling or Carleon. So, like, if you don't give a shit and, you just, have the Alliance moved out. That's what the service is there for. If it gets killed, you get the instant buyback price. So even if it gets absolutely killed and destroyed, you're still getting paid out. I think Novin or somebody lost their shit and they got paid out. So I think we've had one or two logistics ops for the buyback actually get caught and killed. So there's very little risk.
Very rare. I've done about 20, 30 of these, and I have only died twice because my internet crapped out on Portal, and I could not get away.
but regardless, guys, like, it's don't be heavy in the hideout. We're not evacing at all. Like, I'm not evacing. The Alliance isn't evacing. I seriously doubt it'll ever come to that. But again, this is the Black Zone. Who knows what could happen? Arch could be disbanded tomorrow, and we'd be off on our own defending against ridiculous numbers. So that is a possibility. I'm not gonna say it's not. But I doubt that's gonna happen. And reality is, they might take a swipe or two at our hideout. If it looks like they're seriously coming after it, we'll mass up form with our allies and reset the hideout, push it back, take the territory, and continue fighting this war. But no, you're not gonna lose shit. Like, with like the Delrus is saying, gathering, commodities, treasures, shit like that. Yeah, get that shit the fuck out of there, because it's gonna be super expensive to move and recover.
There's also the distinct possibility that if it were to get really low, we figure something out with Arch, or indeed, we also have our hideouts. If that hideout is getting hammered, we don't necessarily have to evacuate everything to Martlock immediately.
No.
There are other ways we can work our way around that.
Well,
so
we
I
have
really
friends
would
with
not worry
Arch, we have Elevate, we have Money Guild, we have, well, not Money Guild, Final Order. We have tons of friends who like Newbie, who, if we're under serious fucking threat, second or last hideout shield, there's a lot more people that like us than don't like us. So, and all we have to do is. And all we have to do is defend it once, right? And then it resets to 5 shields. And then they got to do it over again. And we do it again. And so it could take them 3 weeks, 4 weeks to knock down the hideout. They'd have to be extraordinarily dedicated to knocking the hideout down. Does that answer your question? Yeah. Okay. Now if it comes out, that looks like, Arch gets disbanded, blah blah blah, world is burning. To be clear, guys, like, we've lost many hideouts before. It's not a big deal. We will get the highest level assets of the alliance out, and then immediately let everybody know, and we'll do alliance level move ops to get everything out. To be clear, the alliance has, I'd say, probably 1 billion in assets, somewhere in that neighborhood. We're gonna get that shit moved out, and
But
then
a lot of it is lightweight, so like battle mounts can be moved, like which are the majority of that value, can be moved very easily.
yeah.
So
So if it comes down to be full transparency, we have probably the best spy network in the entire game. So we know what's coming, where, when, how. Very, very, very much so. And if it looks like it's going to come down to that, the alliance, we'll let you know. Okay, guys, it looks like temporarily we'll be sitting in Martlock until. To be clear, just so everybody knows the political situation. There, as I'm sure you guys have heard, is there's a bunch of rental groups that are being attacked. The anti-rental group. Now, the rental groups wanted us and Arch to side with them, more specifically Arch, but obviously we're like the little brother of Arch. They wanted us to side with them, and when Gluttony told them to, no, I think is a nice way of putting it, they sent an entire coalition that we're currently facing to try to force him to help them, which I'm not sure how they thought that would work out. But anyways, their conditions was they would leave us alone if we help support the rental empires, and obviously they know we despise rental, because it just kills content, and so does Gluttony for that matter. He gives people free, the ability to put little hideouts for little groups, etc., etc., etc. He's very against rental as well. I don't know why they thought this would work, but they did, and they did it. It is what it is. At the end of the day, I think I can speak for everybody in Arch leadership and newbie leadership. We're like, yeah, fuck you. Now, here's the thing. They can't stay here forever because they need to go home and defend their rental empire overlords that are paying them to attack us in the first place. So they have to leave, right? Like, at some point, if they don't leave, their rental empire collapses because it's under constant pressure by a large coalition of Elevate and Derek from Final Order and others. And at the end of the day, every day they stay here, they're losing money, right? They're trying to force us to join the war on their side. I'm hoping that they don't think that's going to work, especially since a lot of their friends and allies that have been attacking us have been, mysteriously getting disbanded or robbed blind, turning on each other. Rats are going to be rats. And at the end of the day, it's not really working out the way they want it to work out. They've been here for a week and, been attacking for over a week and really haven't accomplished much besides knocking down a few hideouts in NA. But that week that they've been here, they've lost dozens of hideouts and territories for renters. So I think at some point, I know at some point they're going to be going home.
they pretty much for every tier 1 level 1 hideout from Arch they knock down, they lose a level 3 hideout over in Limhurst. That's pretty much the situation at the moment, and that's definitely not sustainable. That's an easy 100 mil down the drain every time.
Yeah, they're to be clear, every day they're sitting here, they're losing hundreds of millions of silver. So, they had told the coalition, the last ping that went out is they were going to be here for about a week. So, I don't see them staying much longer than a week, especially with the
The thing is,
offensive.
we can then attack their stuff, and if they're being then told to move, that causes them a problem.
Yep. So at the end of the day, like, in my opinion, this is a political bluff. Like, that's the reality. And Gluttony agrees, and he's called their bluff. And we're going to be right there alongside with it. And to be clear, like, part of the deal that the coalition that came to our neck of the woods to, do their thing. Part of the deal was they wanted Arch to backstab Newbie and fucking turn on us and help evict us. Like, to be clear, like, the coalition, you know, short of us not, if we didn't join the war, they wanted us dead. Right? And we're not going to go over and fucking protect renters and people that have been trying to kill us for, you know, almost a year now. Sorry, just not. Fuck you.
That's not how anything works.
So does that make sense? Does everybody understand what's going on? This is time for questions about the war, about the political situation. Like, this is open book time. You know, pretty much the cat's out of the fucking bag. So I don't really care. Even if you think it might be OPSEC, go ahead and ask it. Like, this is. We don't hide shit from our members, guys. Like, if we're asking you to do shit, if we're asking you to fight, you know, we're gonna tell you why, and we're not gonna hide shit from you. So, does anybody have any questions? X up in general chat. I see several people are typing. So,
By the way, quick question, Androx. How can I join the Fame Farm competition if you're not AFK right now?
I'm actually eating lunch, but the way you join, you go into the fame. You join the Fame Farm Sig. You take a picture of your stats page showing your beginning fame, and with the mob kill fame, you know that's clear in your stats page. You take a picture, you post it in the Fame Farm channel. Make sure that it's like a snipped picture that I can clearly read, and then at the end of the season, we will have you do an ending picture the day the season ends, and then we will see who got the most fame, and we'll award the top 3 positions.
okay. So X, what happens to items in the market if the hideout falls? They are lost. So, if it comes down to it, I will put a ping out. Obviously, we're doing everything in our power, and we're gonna fight. But let's just say, for example, worst case scenario, we're gonna temporarily lose our hideouts. I will put a ping out. I will give you, you know, at least 1 to 2 days. You need to pull everything off the market that you're listing, and you at the very least need to put it in your chest, so that way it can be asset safety down. Everything on the hideout market, if it falls to 0 and blows up, is lost. But do not worry, unless you're going AFK, don't worry about it. If you're going to go on vacation for a week, you probably just, you know, pull the shit off you care about and put it in your stash, or move it to the Alliance buyback, or move it to Martlock. But honestly, even at this point, we're and Arch dies tomorrow and gets disbanded, we're still a week away from losing the hideout. Why is the Alp everything hideout in a sense still standing? Yes, they are against us in Arch.
They have knocked down the first shield. They will knock
They have
down.
knocked the first
probably knock down
shield.
second.
Yes, it's already being assaulted, my friend. And this is just like right now, the last couple days, Arch has just been getting their shit together. We've been working on coordination channels between our leadership and their leadership so we can communicate well. And we are going to war, like I said, on Monday. So Monday. We're going to do some preemptive shit today, in addition to moving, but the war starts in earnest on Monday.
Tomorrow. Which is tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow. We are at total war with Last Warn, everything, Black Forge Orcs, and every other dickhead that wants to come, you know, kill a bunch of noobs. We're gonna fucking show them what noobs
I
can do.
or someone else will write out a list of the people we're at war with soon, so that you guys know exactly which tags are enemies. There's a suggestion in terms of the ganking sig competition to for it to like not give points for ganking Arch, but give more points for ganking specifically our enemies.
Correct. So to be clear, we're going to be working again, unless it just becomes untenable. We are not going to have a nap with Arch. We hate naps. We like PvP. That's the reason we moved from the south. You know, at the end of the day, Arch understands that we enjoy PvP. And then we have zero desire to the French hideout. Which one? Yeah, okay. So anybody that sees Blue Army, Last Warn, any of the listed enemies using hideouts, you put that in the intel, take a screenshot, proof, video, whatever, put that in the intel reporting channel. To be honest with you, there's so many of them, and you can change access very quickly. Yeah, if you're running around fame farming or something, and you see a Last Warn dip into a hideout, what?
So, we're being sorry. I hate to interrupt. In North Martlock local coalition, we're being asked to launch on Brainware Uplands. There's a
Yes,
one
I'm
half.
getting to that. Like Jesus Christ,
Okay.
guys, we like I said, we have an
Okay,
op.
I'm
We
just
have
saying there's not
territories to
much
lock
window
up.
left. There's not much window left.
Okay, are the groups being formed up, Carly?
No, we have like 1.5 hours to do that.
Yeah, I know. It's just I don't want to miss it.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, we're not gonna like, yeah, okay. Anyways, what
Carly,
the fuck
you
was I
got-
talking about before I got interrupted?
People going in hideouts.
Yes, going in hideouts.
Yeah.
What's up, Paul?
We were talking about we're forming the groups up. What's going on with the groups? Are we almost ready?
I was fixing my party on. Yes, so.
Okay, let's get all the groups. If you're in here and you want to come on the op, you want to move out to the hideout, etc., 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 X up, please.
I've got my little party which I'm gonna run with. I wanna practice a few things with my group.
Anyways, let's get some more groups going, guys. We start getting groups formed. Okay, so if you see enemies going into hideouts that we weren't aware they had access to, please report that. And we will prioritize. Right now, our biggest targets are Last Warn, everything Black Forge Orcs. But to be honest with you, they're bringing tons of renters, and they've also told the renters if they attack us, they will get a discount or no rent for the month, etc. So we're going to have lots of little groups that, we're going to be fighting against. Pretty much, it's going to be a list of people that that we're working with versus who we're fighting. Because there's going to be tons of little 30-man little stupid groups.